1998, 14,000 miles. Thunderstorms ripped his balloon. He plunged 29,000 feet into the sea. August 2001, a solo duration record, but no joy. His trip ended in Beige, Brazil, where bad weather and low oxygen supply forced him to quit.
And joining us now from Mission Control in St. Louis is Kevin Stass, the Air Traffic Control Coordinator for the project. Mr. Stass, thanks so much for being with us.
Good morning, Diane.
Good morning. So I know you can talk to him through email and cell phone. What is he saying?
Well, his spirits are really good at the moment. He's really looking forward to landing. He should be crossing the 117 East line around about 2¼ hours from now. So he's upbeat and getting ready to land the balloon.
How hard has it been? How cold? How hard to breathe?
Well, sometimes it's been pretty cold. He's been down with the icebergs and the penguins. And he's been having to use his oxygen mask quite a lot. So, yeah, he's had a pretty rough time. So I think he's looking forward to landing.
And one of the keys to the success, I gather, has been good meteorology, showing him how to go high and low and avoid some of the worst of the weather. But how did he make it through those storms over the Pacific?
Well, we've got two really good meteorologists working on this project. There's Luke and David, who have been doing a fantastic job. They've been steering Steve around all the bad weather. They've been telling him to go to various flight levels. He's been up to 34,000 feet. He's been down to, well, almost fishing level over the Pacific. So they've been steering him quite well.
Do you think he'll make a wet landing, or is he actually going to get to the coast and on land with this route?
No, he's going to get on the coast, over the coast and on land. So we're hoping that, because we want the capsule to be hung in the Smithsonian. So, and it's got my name on it, so he can't put it in the sea.
Oh, well, then it's vitally important. If he landed in water, would it still be the record?
Oh yeah, it would still be the record as long as he goes past the 117 East. Well, in fact, it's just slightly before that, but that's the finish line that we're looking at, and that's in about 2¼ hours' time.
And does he have a bottle of champagne on board, and how are you all going to celebrate?
We're going to have a big party. I think he's probably got something on board that he can have while he's waiting for the rescue helicopters and trucks and all the sorts of other things that are going to come and meet him.
Well, it is a phenomenal achievement, and the 6th time seems to be the charm. We congratulate all of you. It seems to be in order this morning.
Okay, thanks very much, Diane.
And good to have you with us, Charlie.
Great.
I know that you have had great weather for this adventure this time around. Is that why you believe it's going to be a successful mission, or are there other factors as well?
Well, the main reason we've had good weather is because we've done a terrific job steering around bad weather. Luke and David, from the Royal Meteorological Society of Belgium, have done the weather this time, and they've just done a marvelous job of looking way downstream, seeing the bad weather coming, and maneuvering early to get around it rather than waiting till the last minute. So I think the weather in general has been average, but the steering job has been absolutely magnificent.
Now, I understand that Steve will actually complete this around-the-world mission while he's still over water later on this morning. So when actually will he touch down on land then?
I think it'll be another 12 hours or so before he blows far enough north to get over the southern Australian coast.
We know that Steve Fossett is a millionaire, but that doesn't necessarily always equate with motivation. What do you think has kept him going for 6 tries at this?
You know, Steve's an amazing example of the, if you don't at first succeed, try again and again and again and again. He just has a cheerful, gentle persistence that won't quit. I've never known a guy quite like this, and it doesn't matter if the press is watching or not. Most of his achievements, nobody was ever watching, but he enjoys setting a goal and just sticking with it till he does it, and the guy just doesn't quit.
Well, he must have that no-quit attitude, because I know he's been in a closet-sized capsule now for 2 weeks. Can you give us a sense of what it's been like for him to live in these close quarters?
Well, it's you know, you're in solitary confinement. Of course, Steve's used to it. He's done sailing deals around the world solo. He's sort of a solo kind of guy.
Right.
And so you know, this is something he's used to. He's done before.
And can you give us a sense of how your team at Mission Control played into this whole thing? I know he's flying the balloon, but you guys are an integral and important part of this mission as well.
Well, the problem is sitting up in a balloon, you're blind. I mean, you don't have a clue where you are, or a clue where you're going, or a clue where the weather is. So you have the weather guys that have to steer you, and you're totally dependent on them. And then you have the guys who are experts on the balloon equipment, the communication system, the burners, the solenoids, the fuel systems, and everything that can go wrong, and have to kind of talk you through repairs that you inevitably have to make during the flight.
Mission accomplished, Joe Ritchie. Congratulations to you and to Steve Fossett.
Thanks, Gretchen.
Bickle right now joining us with more on that story and exactly where Steve is positioned at this hour.
Exactly, Mark. I mean, it's a situation what we've been talking about. The landing is the big issue right now. What is also an issue is when, in fact, Steve Fossett will break this world record, when he will be the first solo balloonist to encircle the globe. Here to talk about that is Kevin Stoss, who is the air traffic coordinator. Kevin, what are the big issues right now for you?
Well, the big issues are obviously Steve crossing the line, which we reckon is going to be in about an hour's time, I guess. You know, he's really looking forward to it. He's exhausted, and I think he just wants to land as quickly as possible.
We had mentioned before earlier this morning, he doesn't want to make a water landing. What are ideal landing conditions for Steve, or what does he want to do?
Well, ideal landing conditions, I guess, a surface winds probably below 5 knots. He's got to be careful about landing during the daylight hours with the thermal activity, especially in that part of the world. So the meteorologists are sort of looking at a strategy of getting him to land. So this is the problem at the moment. People keep saying, when's he going to land, when's he going to land? But they're all talking together, and we're going to come up with some answer probably in the next few hours.
I guess an ideal landing surface would be something soft.
Yeah, something soft, nice bit of sand, you know, nothing too rocky.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, you're not going to have any feather stuffed pillows or anything ready for him, huh?
No. I mean, he probably, as long as he doesn't land on a dingo or kill a few wallabies or something, we'll be all right.
Don't think that's going to happen, but we'll stay tuned. Thank you very much, Kevin Stoss. Okay. Mark, what can we say? Dingoes, wallabies, and Steve Fossett. They're all there. All the characters are there, and it's certainly it's 5 years in the making, but it's finally going to happen, looks like.
He's got it within reach now. We're going to be standing by live here at Mission Control at Washington University to bring you up to date the minute that happens. A lot of excitement over here right now, I can tell you that. And back to you.
How far away is he? How fast is he traveling? Give me the specifics.
He's 55, 60 miles an hour and about 2.5 hours away from the finish line, that is, not from land. He'll finish over the water, and then it'll take another 12 hours or so to blow north up over the land.
When's the last time you spoke to him, and how's he feeling?
Spoke to him late last night. He was utterly exhausted. He just spent a long day at 35,000 feet where he has to wear an emergency oxygen mask to get over some kind of nasty turbulence that had him pretty well shook up. And so there comes a point when it's kind of like the sleep deprivation experiments they do, where you just it starts to affect you, and that's how he. Then he got a couple hours sleep, so I think he's in a lot better shape now. But he's eager to get down.
Joe, just remind me, and for people who may not remember this, how does this compare to his best efforts in the past? Where he is today versus what he's accomplished in the past?
Well, this is far better. One time he made it about halfway, and one time a little over 60% of the way. But this time he's not only made it all the way, but he's got enough fuel he could go on to South America if he was up for it. But I don't think he is.
How much of a success of a mission like this, Joe, is reliant on technical knowledge, and how much is just plain, I hate to put it this way, dumb luck?
Actually, this is one of those deals where if you do it right, you wind up looking lucky. The weather looks luckier this time, but actually there was some new methodology brought to bear at avoiding the bad weather, so it makes it look lucky. But in fact, the weather was about the same, and the meteorologists on this, for the Bud Light Spirit of Freedom flight have just looked way downstream and anticipated that 2 or 3 days ahead of time and started dodging early, even though they had to sacrifice speed to do it. So any time you're dealing with weather, there's some dumb luck. But one of these executed correctly should make it around the world, I think, 2/3 of the time.
All right, Joe. Well, listen, we have our fingers on the bottle. We won't pop the corks just yet, but good luck. We'll keep our fingers crossed.
Thanks, Matt.
To watch. But we'll watch this in the next hour, Paul, and let you know, as perhaps you can see back there, Mission Control is humming.
Jeff, obviously, the other thing that separates him from anybody else who might try this is his bank account. He has the funds that allow him to support these kind of adventures. Do we have any idea what he has spent over the years to try to meet this goal?
He has steadfastly refused to answer that question. He's made a lot of money in the futures trading pits in Chicago, but this time, interesting to note that for the first time, he got some sponsorship, and that is from the folks at Budweiser. They're trying to keep a low profile here, but they have helped bankroll this, because even with all the money he made trading futures in Chicago, this is just an enormous undertaking. Just how enormous, though, we don't know.
Well, maybe if he succeeds, he'll finally share those numbers with us. We wish him luck. I actually personally hope he makes that goal.
I think he thinks it's worth it, regardless.
All right, thanks, Jeff. We'll check in with you.